Meeting everyone multiple times. I see, well, people are flooding in at the moment. Welcome everyone to part one of this Binance South Africa webinar, The Markets with Marc. We are very excited to have you with us today. And in true South African fashion, let's give some of the people, I see people really flooding in. Let's give everyone just a few minutes to join and we'll get started. In the meantime, please enjoy, for your viewing pleasure, the face of Marc Buckner.
I was going to, if I could turn around, hide away. Good evening, everyone. You're lucky. I've got a tin roof, and I'll give you a little view of it. There is, when it rains, which it just stopped now, it sounds like the end of the world, Armageddon, crashing down.
I know a few people who actually enjoy that sound, not just the rain, but on the tin roofs as well.
No, it goes from romantic to the end of the world, so it's very quickly.
That's great. Guys, please chat to us in the chat function below. I see we've got Tanasi, Spiwe. Tyron actually said that's the best way to fall asleep. So I told you some people love it. Melanie, hello, Melanie. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm still getting used to all of this because I'm so behind on this form of technology. I'm still used to seeing everyone face to face in a coffee shop.
Well, fortunately, here in South Africa, we can start doing a little bit more of that now.
Look what he's got there. Leave Daddy's hand. Leave Daddy's hand. Can we go look here? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I think somebody was just unmuted there.
That was Morn.
Oh, an angel Shane, one of the Binance angels. So, guys, in addition, we're going to get started in the next few minutes. So, in addition to what the story Marc is going to be sharing with us today, some of the stuff I'm going to be showing you, I know no one really came for me. There's also a whole bunch of official Binance angels that are literally just standing by to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, you can drop them in the Q&A. You can drop them in the chat, not just questions for Marc, but also just regular Binance-related questions. And our angels will be able to help you with whatever that is. So I think we're about ready to get started. Marc, do you feel ready?
Let's go. I got my drink. I'm prepped.
Oh, here we go.
Cheers. Virtual cheers.
Virtual cheers. Well,
and then it goes down. Getting rid of this thing.
There we go. I'm going to do a little bit of the boring stuff first, just to make sure that everybody is on the same page. So, I know a lot of people are here for the giveaways. So we will be giving away over 2,000 Rand in crypto today. And the first thing that you need to do if you want to win is join all of our communities. So all the cool events like this one that, we have regularly, all the giveaways, the campaigns we have, that is the best place to find it. And you can also get a hold of myself there, other Binance staff. So make sure you join those communities. And the second thing to do is we pay you in crypto and your winnings are in crypto and they go to your Binance account. So the first thing you've got to do is have a Binance account. So check the chat box again. You'll see there's a link there that you can use to register your Binance account in literally like 30 seconds. Marc, how long did it take you to register your Binance account?
35 seconds. I'm a little bit slow.
Okay. And I know one question that we often get, which you guys will see is part of the questions in the competition form, is what is a Binance UID? So I am going to show you exactly that. So in the next 30 to 35 seconds, we'll all have a Binance account.
If you type as slowly as me, then it's 35. One finger at a time. Just do you mind clicking on the little eye there so we can see the password?
If you're new to this, do not do that. So you can see how secure Binance is. Not only do I need my username and my password, but I'm also going to have my cell phone. So I just put in my little code. You can see the Wi-Fi is already clocked out at 5 o'clock. Finished work for the day. Great. So as soon as you log into your Binance account and it loads.
Yeah, we were told that Wi-Fi will be slow. It seems like countrywide now.
Oh, yes, yes. We were just chatting about that maintenance issue. So at least I have a cop out today. So when we dropped the competition form just now, which is how you obviously enter the competition to win that 2,000 Rand in crypto today, we'll ask you for something called a Binance UID. So you log in, come to the little person icon, click the first option, and you will be taken to your dashboard.
I'm glad you're doing this because I actually got a lot of questions on Twitter about setting it up. So,
oh, brilliant, brilliant.
One can see now.
We'll get all the boring stuff out of the way and then we'll just unleash you. So when we ask for your Binance UID, you'll see on the top here, either next to your email, in your dashboard, so little person, first option, you'll see a little 8-digit number here. So just copy that and paste it into the competition entry form we're going to share. And then to activate all the really, really cool features on Binance, the first thing you're going to need to do is set up that 2FA. So you saw that even though I put my username and my password in, I still had to wait for an SMS from my phone. So that's super secure because if you're ever logging into your account, depositing, or sorry, not depositing, but withdrawing, and people are free to deposit into your account, withdrawing or anything like that, you've got an extra layer of security. So you can actually do it straight from your dashboard, and there'll be an enable button here. You can see mine's already enabled. And as soon as you've got a nice secure Binance account, the next thing you'll need to do is verify your identity, because like any normal financial sort of type company, we won't let you transact with your ZAR or your rands until you verified your identity. But it takes a few minutes. You literally upload a copy of your ID, look at your webcam, open your mouth, turn left or right, and you're done. So that's how simple it is to really get a fully functional Binance account that allows you to buy crypto, sell crypto, store crypto, earn crypto. And as I said, once the boring stuff is finished, we're going to start to hear about why would you want to buy crypto? How would you go about it? And fortunately, to tell us a bit of his origin story, as I like to call it, the super trader that is Marc Buckner, his superhero origin story is Marc Buckner. So the last word from me is the competition entry form is in the chat. Make sure you fill that in while we hear about Marc's origin story and how he really feels about crypto.
Now I feel like Clark Kent. I just need the glasses. So I got involved 4 years ago, and I fell in love with this whole concept of, because I had been buying and selling shares. I mentioned previously, I'd been buying and selling shares, having to pick up the phone the broker and say, please, would you sell 1,000 shares for me at this price? And then they would say, well, there's an open order at this price, so maybe it's not the right. And it was terrible. Not to mention the trading hours are more flexible with crypto. You can sit up till any time of the day, and you can do it over the weekend. So it's a little different with day trading crypto versus other shares. And yeah, so I bought one Bitcoin. It was 80,000 Rand, I remember at the time. And I thought, well, you know, maybe because I brought everything I'd earned to South Africa, I thought maybe it's time that I diversify and take some back out. And this could be a good way to do it, because effectively you're buying foreign currency in a sense. And that's how I view it. So you've got that safety that it's not in your particular your fiat currency, which Rand or whatever it is. And yeah, so within I think a couple of weeks it had doubled. And now I thought, hang on, I can't sell this thing. This is too exciting. Let me try and trade a little bit of it. So then of course I put a bit more, and I was trading, doubled everything I put in a month. And then here comes the school fees part, which you know, I always say, you know, a green candle's great, but now from what I've learned, a red candle is even better. So when things go down, it's even better. I just didn't know that at the time. Yeah, and then pretty much lost all of my profits. About 10% profit I cashed out. But I sat up all night. I was so excited about this thing because this is what I've been searching for my whole life. That something that I could trade at any time of the day, any time at night, anywhere in the world. I could sit on my laptop in Bali. We spoke about this, Brenton. I'll be there soon. And and this was it. So then I took a little bit of a sabbatical, so to speak, after losing all of my profits. I mean, I was very upset, but it was the school fees that I needed. Yeah, and then I started. That was the big crash, 2017, and then started to slowly accumulate more. But over this lockdown, the moment South Africa went into lockdown, I thought, no, the Rand's going to crash. Let me buy some more. And I actually really dollar cost averaged while doing that, learning how to trade for myself. Yeah, all the way through lockdown, which was months and months, just watching, reading, and trading a small portion of my portfolio. But so I'm investing and I'm day trading. And I'm using technical analysis, which I guess we'll learn a little bit about now. But I'm also I also use fundamentals, so fundamental analysis through everything that I read. But there's this great saying. I can't remember who said it, but it was that, you know, show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. And it's so true. That's the thing about, you know, because there's these big players, these whales, and they are moving the markets, but they also they're privy to information that we don't know. We're never going to get until days later. And that's going to move the markets too. So that's, in a way, when you're trading, you're using things that are like looking in a rearview mirror, but it does show you what's going forward too, if you're using the right tools.
Yeah, that actually brings another saying that I heard to mind, and I hope I can remember it now. Is the past doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes, right?
Yeah.
But I want to come back to some really, or three actually, really important things you mentioned and concepts that I think are really important to people who want to start trading or start investing or start getting involved with crypto. And, you know, no matter if you're the best hedge fund or trader or investor, I think over time, the best strategy for anybody has been dollar cost averaging. And you mentioned that that's sort of how you got most of your position in the market. So what exactly is dollar cost averaging? Like, how do you do it?
So I'll be buying at different points. Sometimes I'll say, well, I'm just going to buy every day at this time, or I'm going to buy every week at this time, or as soon as I get money, I'm going to buy. I'm trying to not be, I'll look at the price fluctuation for the day, but I try not to be too concerned with that, and rather just purchase because I have a long-term view, and that it is far from what its potential is, and what I believe that it's going to be within the year, within, you know, a couple of years from now. So I have different positions that I'm going to exit over different times, different days or weeks. And yeah, so I was catching the falling knife as it was going down, but then as it turned around, it didn't really matter, because now, I mean, everyone that's bought previous to the past few months or weeks is in a profit. So yeah, it's, I would be buying, I'll give an example. Ethereum, buying at $700, buying at $500 for 2, eventually went to 80. This coming down from 1.4 roundabout. Now, obviously, I've averaged out, and that's the whole point. You're going to average out at, let's say, $350, $400, but we're sitting at 1.8. So you're going to be smiling because you're not too concerned. You don't need to watch the markets too much, and that's why I like it.
So, like I said, it's actually one of the most effective strategies. So if you have some coins that you really believe in the long term, literally, tell yourself every Monday at 7 p.m. or even once a month, the 31st of every month, I'm going to take X amount and I'm going to buy this, this, and this. And you don't really look at the price. And funnily enough, it's the strategy that takes the least sort of effort. But it's one of the sort of untouchable strategies that have proven effective over the years. So thank you so much for that, Mark. And then I think the second thing you mentioned that really sort of piqued my interest was you both invest and you trade. So you said you dollar cost averaging, but you take a little bit of your portfolio and you trade that. And what do you think the benefits of that are as opposed to just investing or just trading? And how does that help your sort of risk management?
So with the information that I can read from the charts, and then also the fundamentals that I see in the news and everything else that's going on, like what's happening today with Ethereum, the information that we found out today with Vitalik, this is stuff that I might as well use a little bit and trade with. And there are also positions that I'll enter in when I'm dollar cost averaging. I'll be, oh no, that's not good for the day. It doesn't look so good. So I might take that bit and I'll trade it, and then try and recover what to get myself in a better position than what I was a couple hours before. And then there's obviously, sometimes it's so clear on the chart and it's bouncing between the range, and I'll buy at that support region and then sell at the resistance. And we're going up now. It's a nice channel to play off.
Brilliant. And do you have any sort of rule that you apply, like maybe 80% I invest and 20% I trade, or is it sort of just more based on where the market is at the moment?
Again, I would never, for myself currently at this point, I'm not trading more than 10% because I expect a big jump. And I don't want to have much out of the market. So if I've cashed out 10% and then all of a sudden, because every time it hits that resistance or that support, the more often it does it, the more it's going to break either up or down. And we're in a position now where I think it's very likely that it's going to jump. I mean, every time we chat, things go up. So we're very close to that all-time high.
The market.
It's my green jersey. You see, all the green candles are coming out.
All the green candles. I think the last time we chatted was we had an all-time high during that event.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. I had to just quickly open my trading view. Okay, things are looking good here. Things are looking good. Great. And the third thing you mentioned that really piqued my interest, Mark, was during lockdown, you said, I think, to be honest, anybody who's been in crypto for a while, when you talked about the 2017 dip, and it really sort of hit a nerve. I think a lot of us, burnt our fingers during that dip. But it was a great learning experience. You took a bit of a sabbatical after that. And then lockdown, really sort of stumped all of us. So there's two things I want to chat about with that. When you said during lockdown, you sort of started deep diving into learning about trading, reading the news, is there like some basic principles you could give our listeners of like how they should go about learning, any sources that you recommend? And then secondly, did COVID really open your eyes up to just how crypto trading is, like you said, 24/7? It really is a way to make an additional income, even if, everything around you seems to be burning in flames, essentially.
I'll get to the COVID one first. The thing about lockdown is it affected my sleep. And I think I heard that from a lot of people, because it's so strange. You're locked indoors and you don't have your normal 9 to 5 or whatever it is. You don't get up and do your exercise that day at that time. So everything's a bit upside down. And I would struggle to sleep at 2 in the morning. I'd be trading on the weekend, and every day is the same. It's a Monday or a Sunday, who cares when you're in lockdown. So the weekends were fantastic for me. Even though the lower volume, I would still enjoy trading at any particular day. Any moment that I chose was right for me, because that's something. When those school fees, one of the biggest lessons was to be patient, and I was very, very impatient. I'd buy something and I'd watch it go down, and I think it's the end of the world, and I've lost it all. But it's not the case, and it's just a matter of time when before it turns around. So, what was question number 2?
Yeah. So question 2. Going backwards. So I'm really, really interested to know. So you took a deep dive into getting more involved, and we've had some really, really interesting chats. So you're super knowledgeable about the space now. And if you try and Google like Bitcoin stuff, you probably get hit with like 10,000 different sources. So is there anything that really stood out to you that helped you, particularly in the beginning of your journey? In terms of learning about crypto, reading about news, charting.
I think it's helpful to go through all of it and to kind of pick out the bits that are, because you'll very quickly realize what's good information, what's fed to you by the big players out there, and YouTube's always a great resource. And then I would also Google how to trade. I'm not talking crypto, just in general. What are these chart patterns? What's a rising wedge, and so on. So, but first I had to learn what a candle is, candlestick. And what all of that means, because now when I show people, I think they would understand what I'm looking at, and I'll say, hey, look how good things are looking, and they'll say, I have no idea what I'm looking at. No clue. And so you need to get that understanding first. What is a candlestick? What did it start at? What did it end at? What was the close? 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and so on. So and learn what's reflecting what time frame. So just general Google trading techniques, and then again the YouTube. Pick out what has the most views, because often, not always the case, but often that's going to give you the better information.
Brilliant.
And then once you've kind of cleared that first bit, sorry to interrupt. Once you clear that first bit, there'll always be new articles coming out, and it's much easier to catch up that way, as opposed to trying to work through the whole as much as you can in the beginning, but then just start to pick up the new articles and that new information, because things are always changing. There's always new laws or or a country saying, okay, we're going to ban it, or we're going to or this bank's buying, or this corporation's buying which crypto, and so on.
Brilliant. So I actually saw a question from Adrian in the chat, and it gave me a little smile, because we were just talking about school fees, and his question is, how do you manage the psychology of trading? So, i.e., keeping the emotion out of it. And I think in my trading journey, that is where I paid the most school fees. But I'd like to know, when money is on the line, like you said, it's a very emotional thing, or it can be. And then the mind plays some funny tricks at times. So how did you learn to manage the psychology and the emotion of trading?
So every day I get better because of the information that I read, and that's why I like to read up as much as I can. That's why I like fundamental analysis. So the if it dips, I really don't believe that it's just going to crash. I think I know that there's too much money invested now. There's on a chart it's showing that okay, it's got certain points that it's going to bottom. If it breaks through that, then it'll bottom there. So there's always little bounces along the way, even on its way down and on the way up. So I'm not especially concerned. The nice thing is through dollar cost averaging, I'm at a nice profit. When I buy in and it drops from there, sometimes I trade at a loss. It's very seldom that I do that. I would rather obviously trade at a profit. Then I know, okay, if I can't get back in, I'm still at a profit. But trading at a loss is a little more tricky, because then you need to know, okay, well, it has dropped below this point that I bought in, but it's very likely to hit the next support line, and then I'll rather buy close to that. So then I'll put my buy order in there. So that's really just through discovering that there's exponential growth, and at least I have a certain value in mind for many of the cryptos that I trade that I think it will be in within the next month or year. If it dips, it'll get there later on. It might just take a little longer. It's like there's this it's like kicking the can down the road. It's just going to be a little bit longer.
So I actually think that's absolutely brilliant advice. So, next week we'll be here every Wednesday, or the next 2 Wednesdays. So next week we'll jump into a little bit of the support, resistance, chart stuff that we're talking about. So if you're a little bit lost, I promise you it'll make a lot more sense. So what Marc is saying is, when you know where price is going, if you enter a trade and it suddenly goes down, you're not going to panic because you've got an idea of what's going on. And then make sure you do your fundamental analysis. So if you know the value of a project, where it's going, what it's going to achieve, a little red daily candle is not going to spook you as much as if you're just buying and selling random things. So it's very important to know, what you're trading, what you're investing in. And a question from Jan that's actually interesting to me as well. Where do you do your daily reading and checking on the crypto markets?
I will type in BNB, or I'll type in Bitcoin, and I'll just type it into Google, and I'll go to news, and I'll read every article when I have the time. Then I will watch. There's certain YouTubers that I'll watch. I've gone completely blank on the names, but I love it because they will read out the information, and I can be around the house cooking or whatever, not cleaning because I do very little of that, and then he'll be just talking out the news to me, and I think that's great because I'm always catching up on it, because it's ever evolving, it's always changing. And that's what many people will struggle with when trading, is that you need to brush up on that information as quick as possible. Because there's this term also, what is it? Buy the rumor, sell the news. That's it. So if something major is going to happen, then I'll want to either buy or sell, and then rather buy back if it's something very negative, buy maybe days later or even within the day, or at least just get a slightly better position. I'm not trying to catch it right at the bottom, or I'm not trying to sell right at the top when I trade. Yeah, does that answer the question? I mean, it's really just read and absorb as much as you can through YouTubers and Google.
No, absolutely. So I think a very important point there is make sure you always keep abreast of things. Like Marc mentioned, there was a big update in the Ethereum community today. And if you saw certain price movements, you would understand exactly why, this was happening or that was happening. And there's amazing ways to, some of us just absolutely love it. So we'll sit and read through every article. But if you want, sort of snippet daily snapshots, there's a lot of amazing YouTubers. Like Marc said, while you're cooking, taking the kids to school, whatever it may be, you can just catch up and what's happening in the market. And
just to add on to that, when I'm in the gym, I've got my headphones on, and I used to listen to some heavy metal instead, Pantera, playing while I'm doing because it motivated me. But now I listen to YouTubers. I don't watch them. I got it on YouTube, but I'll just listen to what they're saying while I'm training. And I don't push as heavy weights anymore, so it's fine. But but the other thing, actually, what I discovered, and I really disliked Twitter previously, but now I use it as my, I completely, sorry, I forgot about that bit, that is my main source of news now. I'll type in XRP and I will get and I'll go to the latest, or I'll go to whatever's the most popular, and I'll do both. And that's by far the quickest.
Literally, crypto Twitter is your go-to news source. It'll often be published on Twitter before it's published on any news site.
Yeah.
So you heard it here from Mark. So Mark, I can't find the comment here. Yes, Gareth Roth. He said buy the dip, lol. Yes. So always buy the dip, like Mark says. Always buy the dip.
Actually, to add on that, every time someone will say to me, you told me to buy this one. And I said, well, I'm not telling you. I'm just telling you what I'm buying. And, oh, but it went down. And I said, okay, are you worried? He said, yeah, it's gone down. I said, well, then buy more, because it's just, it's going to go down at some point, and it's going to go up at some point. So why don't you take advantage of when it goes down? And then if you really want to sell, then sell when it goes up. But I'm just going to buy more each time it goes down. Every time I get more money in that I don't need, then I will put it in there.
And I think that's that comes back to the sort of dollar cost thing. If you ever run into some money and you want to quickly invest it, throw it into some crypto in your Binance account. This is not financial advice. So Mark, speaking about that, when your friends ask you that question, and I know the answer, we chat about this quite often. When your friends ask you that question, what are you buying? What do you say to them? So what does Marc Buckner have in his Binance portfolio?
Well, BNB did very, very well. I was buying a bit of ADA, not anymore. I've gone back to largely Ethereum. So I am majority Ethereum. When I buy, I love Litecoin. It's a very odd one, but I find that every time Bitcoin does well, that's my hedge against XRP or Ethereum. When Bitcoin does well, it's almost like, so they're all following Bitcoin to an extent. But obviously when Bitcoin, and that's what we noticed in 2017, when Bitcoin spiked, a lot of money moved out of that. And that's when that crash started, money moved out of that and into the altcoins. And that's when they had that big explosion. But then money moved out of them, obviously, as well. But that's what I'm trying to catch, is that altcoin boom. And I love Litecoin for that, because when Bitcoin does well, it often does better, but then the others will hang back. And it's just something that I've noticed. And I'm looking at it right now, and Litecoin has done fairly well. It's similar growth today as Bitcoin, but meanwhile, Ethereum and many of the others haven't done as well. Yeah.
Oh, very nice. So I hope you were all taking notes there. So I think this is actually a perfect time while you guys think about some questions for Mark that you can drop in the Q&A. I'm sure a lot of you are now quite interested in, how do I get this BNB or Bitcoin or a few things that I'm going to
wait, after we chatted, I can't believe how well BNB did. When
that whole DeFi space, and I think we were talking about that as well, about BNB and how well it was doing at that stage. So the first thing I'm going to show you is, as a South African user, in the beginning, before we go to all the fun stuff, we talked about how to register your account. We dropped the link in the chat. Remember to fill in the competition form. We dropped the link in the chat. Oh, sorry, no. We secured our account, with 2FA. We verified our identity. And once we've done all of those cool things, we can start doing all the fun things. So the first thing I'm going to show you is, how to buy some of your favorite cryptos. So as per usual, you log into your Binance account. Let's start all the way from the beginning, just to be sure. Looks like my Wi-Fi is slightly more behaved now. So as soon as you log into your account, you'll land on the beautiful Binance page. And I'm going to show you just how easy it is to get some of your favorite cryptos. And literally, if you think registering your account was fast, just watch how fast this is. So the first thing you go to is the Buy Crypto tab. And you can see mine says USD, but yours will often be set default to ZAR. If it's not, no stress. You just come here to USD, type in ZAR, which is South African Rands. And you'll see that the first option immediately changes to credit debit card. And you can use any card, your FNB card, your Standard Bank card. It doesn't have to be a credit card, any bank cards, normal bank cards, your Capitec card, literally any bank card. And I think it's 1 week ago. So for those of you Binance Smart Chain fans and our farmers out there, and I'm not talking about potatoes, we're talking about yield farmers, we added some pancake swap that you can now buy directly with your card. And as Marc was talking about, Cardano has been doing amazing as of late. And you can now buy some Cardano directly with your card.
Also known as ADA, just so you know. Also known as ADA.
ADA, exactly. So once you've come here, credit debit card, you'll rock up on this page. You'll see ZAR selected, and you can see my card saved here. But it really is as simple as online shopping. So you go, put your card number in, etc. And you literally just select from a whole bunch of different assets that we offer. So Bitcoin, BUSD, Ethereum, Marc's favorite, Ripple, Cardano, ADA, BNB, Cake, DOT, Dogecoin, Elon Musk's favorite coin, Zilliqa, FIO, USDT. So Marc, I'm actually going to let you choose. What should I add to my alt bag? Or even Bitcoin, it's up to you.
Let's go for some Ethereum.
That's always a good bet.
Yeah. The news is looking good.
So let's just say I wanted to buy 350 Rand of Ethereum. So maybe I'm dollar costing. So I've decided, what is it? It's Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Maybe I've decided every Wednesday at 8 o'clock I'm going to buy 350 Rand worth of Ethereum. So this is how we'll do it. Come into my Binance account, come here, 350 Rand, and click Buy ETH.
And that's the thing about Ethereum now. What the news that's been released is Ethereum's current biggest issue is the gas fees. And in a couple of weeks, if all goes according to plan, those fees will come down.
Exactly. So all those proposed improvements and scaling solutions will basically sort out that entire gas fee issue in Ethereum, which from the fundamental side, very, very bullish. And that's a good reason to dollar cost in. And as you can see, in a matter of seconds, it literally would have been 1/3 of the time if I had no Wi-Fi issues today. I bought myself 0.01193 Ethereum. And immediately as I purchase it, it's available to me in my spot wallet. So maybe if I wanted to get some USDT, which are basically like dollars onto Binance, so I could fund my trading accounts, I could use the exact same channel. And we can see I clicked on my spot wallet, and immediately we can see that Ethereum I just bought, there it is right there. I can withdraw it, I can trade it, convert it to maybe I decided afterwards I want some Chainlink. And that really is how simple it is to buy cryptocurrency on Binance. So the second method I'm going to show you, which you can use to deposit money into Binance and withdraw money, is our Silvergate Swift channel. So for, like Mark said, for those whales out there who want to get a lot more money in and out, you'll see as soon as I select USD, so I change it from ZAR to USD, and the first option changes now from Visa, MasterCard to bank deposit, Swift bank transfer. So those of you who are familiar with like sending money overseas, you'll be familiar with the Swift system. For those of you who aren't, it sounds technical, but you can literally log into your online banking. Like I do Silvergate deposits from my FNB app. And I'm going to show you just how to do it now. It's literally like making an EFT to a local bank account with like 2 or 3 extra fields. That's pretty much it. So the way this channel works is you phone up your bank, whether it be, FNB, whoever it is, they all have Forex desks. So if you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, you can literally phone your bank and say, hi, I need someone to help me with a Forex transaction. And they'll put you through to the desk. And they will literally walk you through this entire process. And to give you some heads up, like I keep mentioning, I'm an FNB customer. I did a deposit on a Friday at 11 a.m. and by 2 p.m. the funds were in my Binance account. So how does this channel work? Like I said, you phone your Forex desk and let's just say I wanted to deposit 15,000 Rand. That's about $1,000. So then I would come here, I would select Silvergate Bank Swift. So Binance doesn't charge you any deposit fees. There is what's called a Swift fee that banks charge you. It's between like sometimes 250, 350 Rand. But let's just say, if you're depositing 15,000 Rand, that's all you'll essentially pay. So I'll go, I want to deposit $1,000. And for this $1,000, I will get 1,000 BUSD, which is Binance US dollars. So essentially $1,000. And okay, I want to deposit $1,000. It's free in terms of Binance fees. And I'm going to get 1,000 BUSD for this. Click continue. Then it's very important, like, we're very regulated. So you can only make deposits from accounts in your name. So if you didn't know, I'm Brent Sniker. If I make a deposit, it can only come from one of my bank accounts. So I can't, for example, say, hey, Mark, can you do a Silvergate deposit into my Binance account? It's got to come from Brent Sniker's account. And make sure that you include your unique reference number, because that's how they know whose deposit it is. So as you can see, we give you a little reminder every single time. You just click confirm. And now, just like when you try to make any sort of online EFT, there's a whole bunch of bank details here. So if you go to your online or foreign exchange transactions on your online banking, you'll go beneficiary account name, copy, account number, copy, Swift code, copy, paste. And then, like I said, there's a few more fields. So they ask you for the address, the receiving bank's name, and then you put your reference code in and you complete that deposit on your online banking profile. So like I said, every single bank in South Africa has a Forex department, etc. So Investec, Mercantile, ABSA, Standard Bank, whoever you bank with, you can literally do this from your online banking book. You don't even have to phone anybody. But like I said, they're more than happy to help you, walk you through it the first time you do it. So I've now got these details. I open up my banking app. Well, it's a lot easier to just go copy, paste, copy, paste. And then as soon as I'm done, I'll just leave the page. And then as soon as I get, I've got deposits that I've completed here using Swift. You can see once a deposit is pending, it'll show you as well, so you don't have to panic. And then you can see that payment method Swift, indicated amount $200. So at this stage, there was a fee. Now it's completely free. And so they gave me $190. You can see here, USD, all good and well. So if I go now to my spot wallet, I'll now have essentially $200, or if I did the deposit I did now, $1,000, and I could use it to go and trade futures. I could use it to go and buy Bitcoin. I could go and use it to buy some exotic altcoin that, you know, is quite hard to get, because there's always what's called BUSD pairings. So you can always use some specific, or you can always buy some specific coin through BUSD. So I hope I have some BUSD here. And don't try to copy what's here. This is literally an account we use for testing and for for events and stuff. So do I have some BUSD? Oh, I don't. But all you'll do is you'll see BUSD, right? So I'll have a balance of 1,000 here, and I can now go and use that to do pretty much whatever I want. So as soon as that's done, I'll come here to markets. Then USD is a fiat market. So I'll go to fiat. I'll click BUSD. So guys, there's a full recording on YouTube. If all of you are trying to like frantically remember this, there's a full recording on YouTube. You can always go watch it. But you can see now I've clicked BUSD. So if I've now got 1,000 BUSD in my account, which remember, I deposited from my FNB account or from my ABSA account or wherever it may be, I can go and buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Cardano, PancakeSwap, DOT, Matic, Litecoin, Ripple, Swipe. I can even use it to buy pounds if you want. So you can buy Forex here if you'd like. Algorand, AVAX. So you can see that that is a very effective way for you to take your money in your bank account and basically get whatever cryptocurrency you want on Binance. So maybe you want to invest $1,000, or 15,000 Rand, but you don't know where yet. You can deposit your $1,000 and just leave it there until you decide, or like Marc said, go and dollar cost every week, use $100 to buy something every week. But that is a very effective way to get large amounts of money onto Binance. So like I said, if you're putting 10,000, if you're depositing 10,000 Rand, the 350 Rand that they charge you isn't really an issue. So I know a lot of you were probably intently listening when I said you could use it to deposit or withdraw money. So you can also use this channel to withdraw money directly into your bank account. So like Marc said, if we draw some support and resistance, we start trading a good channel, hopefully we make a nice profit. And there's no point of that profit if it's just sitting there in Binance and we can't use it to head over and buy ourselves a new Lambo, hopefully. So the first side we went to deposit. You can see right next to that, there's a tab called withdraw. So the same way that, sorry.
It's the Urus that I'm after, but it's an 8-month waiting list.
So the Binance card?
No, the Lamborghini Urus. Oh, that thing. I've been watching all the YouTube clips on it. Sold.
Actually, that's also one of my dream cars. So,
yeah. 8-month waiting list, just so you know.
Jeez. Oh. Well, I'm going to do a lot more trading, but put in order for that. But yeah, so once I have my account up there I've got my Lamborghini Urus money, and I want to withdraw it into my bank account. I'll basically come to the withdraw tab. USD will be selected. And remember, when I deposited US dollars, I got BUSD. So I can now withdraw BUSD, and when it hits your bank account, your bank converts it for you, and it arrives in your bank account nicely as ZAR, and you can go to the local dealership and do whatever you need to do. So it works pretty much the exact same way. You'll come here to USD, withdraw fiat USD, and select Silvergate Swift again. So depositing is free, but withdrawing costs $30. So that's about 450 Rand. So you don't want to use this channel to withdraw small amounts of money, obviously. But anything, let's just say I had a whole bunch of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, whatever. The same way that I use the BUSD to buy those cryptos, I can go to that same market and sell them once I make a profit back to BUSD. So any money you want to withdraw to your bank account needs to be in a BUSD balance. So go to trade and you can literally just go sell BUSD, sell for BUSD. And let's just say, let's stick to the example. I deposited $1,000 and I'm an absolute market wizard. So within a couple of days, I've made $10,000. So I now want to withdraw it. I trade it to 10,000 BUSD. I'll come here and I'll type in 10,000. Binance knows I'm lying and they want me to complete my address verification because it's a very high amount. And as soon as I click continue, it'll ask me for my banking details. So bank name, branch code, account number, the normal jazz. And as soon as you approve that withdrawal, those on processes quickly take, it is 2 to 4 business days, generally 2 business days. And literally I withdraw this $10,000. 2 days later, often sometimes in the same day, I get a message from or push notification from FNB saying $10,000 at your account converts. I go yes, and I'm very happy because there's 150 grand in my account. Definitely cannot buy an Urus with that though. So you've now got a way to really buy crypto. I mean, to really easily buy crypto. So you can use your card, any card, and you can buy BUSD, Ethereum. We've shown you how you can use that to dollar cost. You can use it to buy your USDT or your BUSD if you want to trade. And then you can use Silvergate, once you change this to USD, to either deposit or withdraw. Then, because I have some more exciting news for you guys, because Binance realized, just how difficult it is to find out where to go, what to do, we've created the Binance Academy. So the Binance Academy is 100% free. We've got a really nifty mobile app. So whenever I'm in an Uber and stuff, I can literally start learning things about trading. And it's anything you can think of, from the most basic thing, like what is Bitcoin, to how to apply Fibonacci retracements or make API calls to create algorithmic trading strategies. So wherever you are on the spectrum, there's some really cool stuff for you here. But what really tickles my fancy is the guides that Binance puts together. So if you want to become a trader, sometimes it's not that easy to know what are the core skills, right? Because if you go look at technical analysis, there are 10 million different things we could be looking at. So if I'm starting out, where do I start? And Binance has so many amazing guides. A beginner's guide to day trading cryptocurrency, the ultimate guide to trading on Binance futures, a complete guide to cryptocurrency trading for beginners, your beginner's guide to candlestick charts. So whatever you can think of, whatever your level of progression, Binance Academy has some amazing information for you. And then keep abreast of everything, like Marc said, with those YouTube videos. But now that I've done a little bit of teaching, I think we can take some questions for Marc. So guys, if you have a question, are you down for that, Marc?
Yeah, I was just looking at one from Gareth Roth. XRP dumps so hard on me. I mean, this is obviously, it's been doing that a lot to all of us. But remember, which is obviously, it's simple to say, but hard to act on. You're only at a loss when you sell, if you sell when it's down. So there a lot's happening in that court case, and I think we should have some new answers every day. There's something new that's coming out, and if you worried and you want to get out, then wait for some good news and then jump out. Otherwise, do as I'm doing and hold on tight. Buy more.
That's some very good advice. Don't panic sell. So let's do a little bit of terminology. So one thing you often hear in crypto is weekend. So earlier on, Marc was telling us, about, I can see he's got a little bit of a smirk there. Earlier on, he was telling us about how he doesn't panic at all, like when you see the markets going down. And that is a skill you develop in crypto. It's called like diamond hands. So no matter what, you do not sell. Again, that's not financial advice.
I don't want to blow my own horn, but I have never sold through any dip. I only wait till I'm up. The only mistake I did make in the beginning, which I've learned my lesson, is the funny thing is I remember I bought before a hike. I go on this hike and I look at my portfolio and I'm so heavily down. And then what I did was I tried to recover the moment it spiked up by buying a little bit more, and then it crashed further because remember there's always those little bounces. Yeah, rather buy when it's properly dipped. Don't buy on the spike back up.
So that is some golden advice. Don't FOMO into the market.
FOMO, there we go. There's another bit of terminology that is, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You would hear that every day. FOMO, FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. There's a lot of that getting pumped by certain big players. What's his name? Our gold buff.
Peter Schiff.
Peter Schiff. He hates crypto. Well, he just loves gold. I think it's just that he loves gold. But yeah, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Try not to succumb to it.
Exactly. So don't believe every headline you see. But let's see what Pinky would like to know. So Pinky Kumere, I am allowing you to talk. Just unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My question is, as a new trader, like, which are the things or what's things that maybe I should know? The must know things, the things that a trader must not miss in terms of the market movement or about the market. Thank you.
There's so much of it. It depends how deep you want to go, but I suppose early days, look at the current trend in the market. So is it continuously going up over the past, what is there's a exponential moving average, EMAs, and what is the moving average over 50 days or over 100 days or 200 days? But Brenton, you can give me something more here. Yeah,
no. So I think some of the key things that you really, really need to understand are some of the things we were touching on throughout. Is candlestick charts. So I think across every market, whether it be our friend Schiff's favorite markets, the equities markets, crypto, forex. Those are the most widely used tools to understand what's really going on. So I think literally the key pillars, and like Marc said, it's very hard to sort of give concrete rules because there's just so much out there, and really depends on what your goals are, what your time frames are. But I think the core pillars that underline all of those, even good investment strategies, would be understanding trends, understanding candlestick charts, and understanding support and resistance. And I think we touched on all of those briefly today. And Pinky, if you are here next week, we will be touching on those things in a little bit more detail. So make sure that you're here next week.
Yeah, and I suppose to elaborate on what we were saying earlier is actually, for me, I wish I understood this FOMO and the FUD, this fear of missing out, and which is often just greed, and then this FUD, which is just fear. So that if you can turn those onto their head and become the contrarian, do the opposite of what everyone else is doing, you're often going to be in a better position. So don't sell when everyone's selling. It might be the right time to buy little bits, and don't be buying when everyone's buying.
Mark, this reminds me, what is that wonderful saying you say about the blood in the streets?
Oh yeah, buy when there's blood in the street. So as much as Warren Buffett hates crypto, was it rat poison squared or something?
Yeah.
I do love that saying. I mean, I've always been, I've been doing that throughout the market, which has helped me buy dollar cost averaging, but buying as things are going down and when there's all this terrible news. But as long as you can see that the fundamentals are there, that the concrete base is there, that it's safe, because that's often most people's fear, that there's this bubble that's going to be popped, because that's what's thrown, that's that FUD that's always given to us, that it's a bubble. And every market's a bubble. It always has an up and a little pop, and then it drops, but then it corrects again. It comes up again. So there's always a correction, and then it comes up again. So really, it's all emotional, and that's why dollar cost averaging works, because you're taking that emotional side out of it, and you're saying, I don't care, I'm just buying.
And that's it. I think, bringing that back, I think it just clicked why that strategy is so powerful, because like you said, it completely takes out the emotion. So the way it works is, if I wanted to buy, some crypto right now, I would go and look at the Bitcoin chart and I'd say, it looks like it went up a lot. Maybe it's going to come down. I'll buy tomorrow. But the way dollar cost averaging works is, I say every third Monday at 7:35 p.m., I am taking 500 Rand and I'm buying Bitcoin. And that way, it doesn't matter whether it's up, down, sideways, and that allows you to take the entire emotion out of it. Buy when there's blood in the streets. I think some of another place, like I said earlier, that a lot of my school fees went towards, I'd go on Binance, these are the very early days, and I'd see something that was up 85% for the day. So, logic would dictate you should buy that. That is literally the worst thing that you can buy, because if it's already gone up that much, one, the chances are it's going to come down very soon. Two, it probably doesn't have much more to go up. People would often see those as the things they should buy into, and then you FOMO in because it's fear of missing out. Oh, it's gone up 85%. What if it goes up 150%? Keep your emotions in check. And FUD is like, for example, let's just say you bought some Ethereum at 1800, right? And you really believe in Ethereum and you understand the project, the fundamentals are good, but now there's some FUD in the market and someone says, oh, Ethereum might be a security again. It crashes down to 1400 and you sell. Like Marc said, you've only made a loss if you sell at 1400. Otherwise, you just wait for that FUD, which is often like we said, just nonsense, to clear, and everything goes back to normal.
That's the thing about, there are a few billionaires, trillionaires out there, but they didn't get there because they followed what everyone, and I saw someone say something about follow the herd, sheeple. They really, in order for them to make a lot of money, they do not want everyone else to make a lot of money. And you need to be a contrarian, you need to be on the other side in order to do that. And you need to take a bit of risk, because you don't want to be, I've got family members who they work a 9 to 5 and that's it. And they've got that security. But even if I had a 9 to 5, I would still be taking a little bit of something for that, create that risk. But then how else am I going to get that exponential growth, that massive growth? And nothing else is going to give it, unless because it's often the higher the risk, the higher the return. And
I think that's what makes crypto so interesting. Is I promise you, once you really start deep diving into the fundamentals, your entire outlook on life will never be the same again. We all of us in crypto always share rabbit hole stories. So that moment when everything changed for you.
And you mentioned 2017. You haven't really lived through crypto if you didn't experience that. That was a terrible, terrible feeling, because it took you so up. It was like You went straight up and you felt amazing, and okay, you're going to retire. Life's great. And then to much less than what you had before. So but it was such a good lesson, and we've passed that now anyway. We were far beyond those prices of those all-time highs. So that's a great thing. But yeah, now that could happen at any time. And that's why often they say if your grandmother's talking about it, maybe it's time to sell. And or at least, like you mentioned earlier, it might not be the thing that's going to give you the most profit. It could happen. It's very hard for Bitcoin to 10x from here, but some altcoins will definitely.
Absolutely. So I think we got so deep into our conversation we forgot about the audience. So Rose, I see you've had your hand up for quite a while, Rose O'Connor. So I'm gonna allow you to talk. Just unmute yourself and shoot your question.
Hello, Rose.
Rose, just unmute yourself. While Rose is doing that, I'm going to drop these social links in the chat one more time. Join the Telegram community, because in the next hour, we're going to announce today's winners there. So we're picking, today we'll have 5 winners who are each going to win 400 Rand each in crypto. And like Mark said, put that into one of those altcoins with 10x potential, and before you know it, you'll be sitting on 4,000 Rand. So in the next hour, keep an eye out for those announcements, because we run just a little bit over time. I don't think Rose is going to join us. So our last question for tonight is going to come from Joseph Mdlalosi. Joseph, I've allowed you to talk. Just unmute yourself and go ahead. Joseph? I think everyone's getting stage fright. Joseph, are you with us? Okay, well, we have Ntogozo. Please unmute. There you go. Unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hello, thank you.
Hello.
I had asked a question about when a new cryptocurrency is launched, how does one assess whether to buy or not? I'm new in the space. Lindley replied saying it will be covered in the white paper. So it's all about the use and the team involved. So I'm saying, but I don't know the teams because I'm new in the space, or is all of that stated in the white paper?
Yes, correct. So all of that information, like who's on the team, etc., it's all part of that whole white paper and stuff. So generally that'll contain that's like your most important resource when you're looking at a new project, because it'll tell you like what they're trying to do, if the technology is good, how all the fee structures and stuff are going to work, and then also the team, etc. So generally those projects on there, because it's so important, on their website. So if you see a new project launch, Aave is quite old, but let's just say Aave, you just Google it, find their website, and you'll see one of the first things, because projects know how important it is, one of the first things they'll put there is a link to their white paper. And in that white paper, you'll find all the information about the project, the team, and then, based on that, you just do a little bit of research, and then, you make a decision if you think this is a good use case, not a good use case, if it's a good team, not a good team. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So the team credentials and their experience is listed then in the document?
Yeah. The majority of it is.
Thank you.
Not
Thank
a problem.
I think that goes hand in hand with one of these comments saying you don't need to I can't find it now, you don't need to like the crypto, but if the TA is good. And that, you don't need to like the crypto. but you may trade it. The TA is good. And that's the thing with a lot of projects, that there's very little information. It makes it a bit harder to trade. So especially if you're new to the space or new to trading, then it's a difficult one, because you don't have information. You don't have information from the past or too much coming in to make a good call on that. And that's the other thing. So I've come from buying property, and as much as often it would have been better if I didn't care whether I would like the property to live in, I may have made more, but I would prefer to know this is something I really like, I really believe in, and if push comes to shove and I need to move into it, I would enjoy it. So that's always how, and it's the same thing I do the same with crypto. I rather trade stuff that I believe in.
Mark, you honestly always give me the best analogies. So the people, if you hear me saying these new ones now, especially about researching projects like a house, you'll know exactly where I got it from. Just don't tell Mark. Because
it's going to cost you big.
He's going to start charging me copyright fees.
Oh, yeah.
So, guys, remember, we'll be back here next Wednesday and the Wednesday after that. And, we'll be going over a lot more of the actual products and the concepts like support and resistance. Now we just heard the superhero origin story. So this is how we got you. And remember, we know there was a lot of information we threw at you. You can always go catch the recording on our YouTube page, Binance and YouTube. You can go to the Binance South Africa Facebook page. It'll be uploaded there by tomorrow. And remember to join the Telegram community, because in the next hour, we will be announcing those winners. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you next week. Make sure you're here. There is another 2,000 Rand up for grabs. So Mark, anything you want to say to our wonderful viewers today?
Just go and read as much as you can. And yeah, everyone asks me, but when all my friends ask me, and I was like, well, there's a lot to read, because I can repeat it back parrot fashion. But yeah, once you get involved, put a little skin in the game, and then you will want to read about what's going on. And that's the same thing with whichever crypto you buy.
So next week, remember, save those really interesting articles you read, because next week, we're going to ask you for them in the chat. And the most interesting one might actually win a prize. So do your reading this week. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope everybody has a lovely evening.
Thank you, everyone. See you all next week.